All right, so I'm just going to wait for a second and just see who jumps in. I've had a lot of people asking me about, just through email and conversation, what I do, what my services are and that type of thing. And so I thought I'd just jump on here and actually go through it a little bit, and the process of booking a session with me and all of those technical things, especially for some of you. A lot of these inquiries are coming in from the US. Actually, I have a lot of clients over there. So I guess for the overseas people, this may help as well, because it can be a little confusing with time zones and, do I actually work internationally and all that sort of thing. So what do I do? What is it? What does it mean? All of that kind of stuff. So I want to start with that. Okay, medical intuition. Now, what is the difference between just a general animal communication session and a medical intuition? I want to say too, before I start on that I do medical intuition for people as well. I do readings for people as well. 99% of my work is animals, but I started with people, so I still do work with you as well. So what I'm saying here relates also for the human variety of animal. A general animal communication session, 30, 45, 60 minutes. So you can book short to longer sessions, depending on how much information you need, what's going on with your animal and all that kind of thing, as to how long you would book. But a general animal communication session is really that. It's general. It's like, how are they feeling? Are they happy? Do they need anything from me? How's their food going? Why are they behaving that way? What's going on with them and the other animals in the house? Why aren't they getting on? Can they get on? Sometimes, as I've mentioned so many times, that animal communication is not necessarily about fixing a problem. That's a bonus, really. If you can talk to an animal and say, hey, don't do that, and they don't do that, or they change whatever it is, it does happen, but it's not always the case. So sometimes we have animals that we just need to manage, right? So we can find out what's going on with them, and then we can figure out how to manage that problem, because they're all unique. They all have their own personalities, and they will decide whether they're going to change this behavior or they don't really care about it. Like many, you watch people like Cesar Millan and Stefano Filippelli and a lot of these dog and cat behaviorists, and horses too, or animal behaviorists, let's just say animals in general. And they talk about dealing with the person first, because it's often the person that's the problem, not the animal. So always bear in mind, and we don't like to look at ourselves like that, because we would never be the problem, would we? Bear in mind that you might actually be the problem. So just if you've got behavioral issues or you've got things going on, what's going on in your life? How are you behaving? How is your mental and emotional health going? How's your physical health going? Some animals will try and pick up an injury or an illness from you. So look at yourself first before you are trying to figure out what's going on with your animal. So general communication is that. It's just asking the general questions. Now, if you've just got a random, how are they feeling? Are they happy? Do they love me? And I know that sounds probably a little bit insignificant, but a lot of people just want to know that. They just want to know if their animals are happy and, whether they are connected to them in some way. 30 minutes, you don't really need too much for that. If you have a lot of questions, then you might look at a 45-minute session. So with animal communication, and this is just from my point of view, because everyone works a little bit differently. Actually, if there is anyone out there, can you tell me whether you can hear me? That would be good, hey? That would be very useful to know if you can hear me. I should have asked that up front, but I don't think anyone's watching at the moment, so, too bad. Okay, so we have a lot of questions. You're going to go into 45-minute, 60-minute session. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky with what's the difference between animal communication and medical intuition, and why wouldn't I book a 60-minute session to try and get a health and medical intuitive scan? Well, you can. get some basic information on a health issue that's going on with your animal. But what I like to see medical intuition is, for animals and people, you've been to a professional practitioner, whether it's a holistic vet or a chiropractor or an acupuncturist or whatever it is, or you've been to a doctor, you've been to a naturopath, you've been to all of these people, and you've been there several times and you're not getting the answers that you're looking for. This is where I feel medical intuition can be quite useful. Now, you might want to go straight into medical intuition because that's your belief system and you just want to go straight in there. You've had really great success before, so go do that. There's no harm in doing medical intuition. It's very extensive. So what I do with medical intuition, and this is the same for animals and people, is I spend a good couple of hours going through the entire body, because bearing in mind that you may have a sore leg or a funny feeling in your gut or something going on in your head, or you've got an injury that you just can't heal, bearing in mind that the site of pain may not be the problem area that you're looking for. So we may need to fix something else to actually fix where you're feeling it in your body. So this is why medical intuition, I go through the entire body. I go through all of the organs of your body, and I'll ask for information on a physical level. Show me the physical right lung, and I'll have a look at that. And I'll get shown things like, we've got a bit of a fitness problem here. This is purely a physical thing. We need to do a little bit more cardio work or something like that. We need to get our fitness up. It may be, there's fluid on the lungs, and, or whatever. The physical issue we look at first. And then I'll ask for the emotional lung. Show me the right emotional lung. Now, bearing in mind also, I think I've said that a few times, haven't I? Bearing in mind, bear with me. So when we come into the emotional lung, in Chinese medicine, the emotions of the lung of trauma, grief, sometimes anger, it's very individual on this front as well, can be stored in the lungs. Now, the right side of the body, from my point of view, the right side of the body I see as the intellectual thinking side of the body. It is also the connection to the masculine. So it may be we have some grief or trauma around a man, dad, brother, uncle, grandfather, someone that represents a father, or your own masculinity, your own relationship with your masculine side. And the opposite on the left side, if we're looking at the left lung and we've got emotional stuff coming up through there, we might be looking at the relationship you have with your feminine side or your females in your life that are close to you, your mother, your sister, your aunties, your twin sister, whatever. So I look at both areas. I look at the physical and then I look at the emotional. I go through all of the organs in the body. I'll go through the musculoskeletal system. So I'll have a look at all your joints. First up, I just get like a general overview. I take you through my etheric X-ray machine. We have a look at what do we need to look at right now. Medical intuition can also be a little bit like peeling back an onion. We get some information this time, but we don't get all the information. You get the information that is available to you at the time. Next time we might get more information. So we go through all of the nervous system. We go through the hormonal system. We go through, the circulatory system, the respiratory system. We go through all of the systems of the body. We go through all, the skin, the hair, the brain, the eyes, the ears, the tongue, the mouth, the breasts, the reproductive area, the small intestine, large intestine, the stomach, the pancreas, the spleen, all of it. I go through all of it. So that is quite extensive. That takes me quite a long time to go through all of that information and figure out, what's going on there. I also go through all the energy centers of the body. These are, they can be called chakras or energy centers, whatever you want to call them, same thing. So I go through all of the main ones. I have 13 that I work with, but I don't always look at all of those. I look at the ones that are relevant at the time. So I go through all those energy centers and I see whether they're underactive, they're overactive, what the physical problem may be related to in there, what the emotional problem, the mental health problem that may be related to for that energy center. I also look at past lives that may be sitting in there, some childhood stuff. When you're in the second trimester in the womb, stuff happens. Whatever the emotions are of your mother while she's pregnant with you, that unfortunately dumps down into the fetus. And I can tell you that can cause a lot of problems, especially if you're adopted or abandoned in some way, or your mother was going through some serious emotional issues at the time. I've experienced this within my own family. I've seen it, and I see this a lot in readings as well. So that's your medical intuition. I have a look at the energy field that surrounds your body as a general. I don't go through all of the layers because that, for whatever reason, at the moment, that information is not relevant to what I do. The things change all the time when you're doing intuitive work, so that may change at some point. Now, that is the medical intuitive report. As you can see, it's quite extensive. So that I spend a couple of hours doing that, and then I write up a report, or I do that later. But I then connect with you on Zoom, so you can be anywhere in the world, and we go through that. And so we can drill down a little bit more on some things that that you may have some more information to give me on that, and we can have a look at a different angle, or whatever it is that we need to do. That doesn't come up so extensively in a general reading for an animal or a human. We might find things like just in a general reading, just trying to think of something that may have come through recently. Often with horses, it can be very quick to just go, right, bang, here we are. We've got some stuff in the sacrum area. We've got some stuff going on in the withers, and I can see that down in the right shoulder. So I can do a quick scan. If okay, my cat, dog, horse is limping, we can do a quick scan and see what we can get in a general reading. But it can take me a while to look into each particular body part. So understand that if you book a general reading for a health issue, I may not have time to find it in one session. And we can usually figure out, where to go from there. So that's okay. If you just want to start with a general reading, that's okay. Let's see what we can come up with. Now, this leads me into energy healing, energy work. I've had some inquiries lately as to can you do the medical intuition and the energy healing together? Actually, I don't think I've got the energy to do both of those together. And aside from that, they are two completely separate things. So a medical intuitive report is very structured. I'm very methodical with how I go through that. I have a form and I go through each bit so I don't miss anything as well. But once I've done my general overview, I'll go through each part of the body very systematically. So with an energy healing, it's very much guided by your animal's guides and mine and whoever else that is available for that session. And I have a lot of animal guides that come through just for a certain animal or a person. They're not with me all the time. They'll just come in for that healing session. So that's very guided. It's remote again, so I can do this for animals anywhere in the world. I don't do healings on people. I can, yes, but I don't. So there are so many energy healers out there. It's not funny. You can go and find one if you really want one. But my animal energy healings, animals don't want too much energy, so they're not extensive. They're not much longer than probably 40 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes for an animal energy healing, and then they're done. They're like, okay, get off me now, out, because that's all they can manage. So they're not quite as long. I will get information coming through while I'm doing that. It may be health related. It may be emotional stuff. It may be things that are going on between the animal and the parent. or the caretaker of that animal. So animal healing is to heal the energy. It's to realign, harmonize, and balance the energy of an animal. So it's not about a miracle cure. My dog's got a busted knee. My dog's got cancer. My cat's got kidney disease. My horse has got, some kind of problem with its tail. It's not a miracle cure. Not to say that it can't. If that is available for that animal, if that is what is meant to happen, that is what will happen. So don't come into an energy session feeling like or thinking that miracles are going to occur. An animal may just feel nice. It might feel nice on the inside. It may feel calmer. They may feel more at peace with them passing. It may help them transition more smoothly. If it's that time for them to transition, it may assist the body in sort of boosting its own healing ability. So whatever else you're doing, if you're doing chiropractics or physiotherapy or chemotherapy or whatever it is, it's just throwing stuff off my desk. If you're doing other things for your animal as well, energy work can complement that. It is absolutely fabulous standalone as well. So you don't always need to. Does anyone want to come in? Oh, I should have mentioned that. Let me just see. Copy. Now, for the people that are out there listening on my work page, I'm just going to drop in the comments a link. If you want to join me in the StreamYard room, you can click on that link and you can come on in. So hi, Alison, and hi, Terry. Thanks for jumping in and watching. If you want to come in, please do, and I will let you in. I'll see you there. Okay, so energy work. So yes, it's extremely powerful, but it's not always a miracle cure. When our energy is in balance, we are creating healing habits for the body, so the body can kick itself into gear and help try and heal a problem that it may be experiencing. I have had some fantastic results. I've had some great things just with an animal feeling better and their mood lifting. And I've had some before and after photos. And this is where it kind of makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, that you're onto something. You see before and after photos of an animal, and that just makes me feel good. Incredible. Look at your animal's hair, the fur, the hair, the skin, the same as us. When our liver and, when things are not going right in our body, our hair and our skin and our nails will show us. So have a look on your animal. If there is a problem going on with an organ, you'll often see it around that part of the body. If the hair kind of points in a funny direction, doesn't matter how many times you brush it to brush it into the right, direction that the hair should be going, and it just kind of whips off into something else, or it looks really dull, or it's starting to fall out. Look at what's going on with your animal, the whole thing. Be more observant with your animal, because you can really, if they're starting to look a little bit listless and vomiting a lot, or they're doing strange things, start to observe more and see what you can find going on with them yourselves. Now, so that's the energy healing. It doesn't get done with a medical intuitive report, but I do get information coming through in an energy healing. Like I said, it will be 30 to 45 minutes. That's as much as an animal can handle. How many sessions do they need? A lot of the time it's just one, and sometimes they might want two or three, but I start with one and we just see where we go from there. And you can tell, energy work kind of integrates over the week. So it can show up, in a few days' time. You might see absolutely nothing, but you actually don't know what your animal's feeling like on the inside. So it might just make them feel a little bit calmer in their digestive system. So many digestive disorders with animals that are domesticated. We are ruining our animals. Hate to say it, and this is me included, I have to say, because I haven't known for my entire life how to feed a cat and a dog. I do now, but and I'm getting much better at it. But we are really causing a lot of digestive issues with our animals. So energy work can make them feel a little bit more soothed in the stomach, the small and large intestine. That you can book online, and my availability for everything is pretty limited at the moment. I'm very, very busy, so I can fit in what I can. So if you're trying to book and you can't find anything, please email me and let's just see what we can work out. The things that I'm not doing, I'm not at the moment working with missing animals. So I'm inundated with inquiries on missing animals, and anyone out there that pays attention to lost and found Facebook pages. I don't, but I get the inquiries. But, there are so many missing animals out there. It is not funny. And there's not very many people out there working in this area. So at the moment, I'm not doing any missing animals. I'm sorry to all the people out there that have sent me emails. I may get back to that at some point. It's not kind of on my list at the minute. So I will send you off to people that I know. I don't really know too many, to be honest. There's not anyone in Australia that I know working with missing animals, but it's a great field to get into. If anyone's interested, I would highly recommend that you follow that path, because there are a lot of animals that need to be helped to come home. There are also a lot of animals out there that go missing for a reason. There's a lot of animals that don't want to be in their house. They don't want to be around the energy of the people in the house, and the people in the house, they don't want to hear that. But if you just take yourself out of it for a moment and think on their behalf, would I want to live here? With this new partner that's come in, I've been with mum or dad for 12 years, and all of a sudden they've got a new partner that doesn't like me coming in here. And animals are very perceptive. They know exactly how you feel about them. So, they go missing for a reason, and they may not want to be found. So if you have a missing animal that you can't find, it doesn't mean that they don't want to come home, but sometimes it means that they may not want to. So keep that in mind as well. And also for cats get into things. I know people don't want to go knocking on doors. They don't want to go to their neighbour and say, can I please have a look in your shed or in your cupboard or under the barbecue or in things. Cats get in things. They get into drains. They do all sorts of little sneaky, naughty things. So make sure you look under, you look in, you look around, you get down low. And even if you've looked, here's the thing, cats can make themselves invisible. For anyone that has cats out there, you'll know what this means. You'll be looking for your cat for some reason and you can't find them. And you've looked on top of that bookcase 1,000 times. And then all of a sudden you see the cat. The cat pulls its energy in and it makes it invisible when it doesn't want to be found. And then, you see it. So the cat's been there the whole time. It's like, how did that happen? I've looked there so many times. So there you go. So that is what I'm doing at the moment, everybody. Medical intuition for animals and people. Animal communications, 30, 45, 60 minutes. And yes, I do these for people as well. That's on the website, but mostly animals. And energy work I only do for animals. All of it is booked online. So you go to the website. Remember to change your time zone to where you are so the calendar shows up for you in your time zone and your day, because sometimes, especially the US, we're the next day from the US. So make sure that you're selecting your time zone so you can actually know when this is on. You'll get a Zoom link sent to you if you're booking a animal communication session. The animal energy work, we don't catch up on Zoom. You book a time just so you know when it's going to happen. It doesn't mean you need to be awake. It doesn't mean you need to be there with your animal. Sometimes people like to be there just because they want to observe and see if there's, see what their animal is doing and how they respond. But you don't have to be there for that. So I do that remotely in my own time, and then I send you a report. So we don't need to do the Zoom thing. And the medical intuition, the same. You book that for a time that not the same. Medical intuition, I do talk to you. So I do a couple of hours myself. The time that you book is the time that we catch up. You'll get a Zoom link for that as well. And we go through it. And that can be 30 to 60 minutes. chat, just going through the findings from that medical intuitive report. You'll have to fill a form out online, so you'll upload photos of your animal or yourself if it's for you. And for the energy work, you're just telling me what you've already done, what's going on with your animal, what you've already done. Medical intuition, you will answer some questions like that as well. Animal communication, you're purely just sending a photo of your dog and telling me the name and the age and the sex. So that's all, everybody. Does anyone have any questions? I know there's not many of you online, but if any of you have any questions, because I have Facebook sitting here as well, just in case you're chatting there. And if you're watching this back, #replay, just put that in the comments, and ask me any questions. I'll answer them when I can get to them as well. This is not readings for your animals or yourself either. When I say ask me a question, it's about ask me a question about what I do, how I do it, what do you do, how you need to understand things. You can't find something on the website or whatever it is. Now, the other thing, so that's that. The other thing, I'm recruiting for animals for the Animals television show. Now, doing one-on-one readings with animals is fantastic. I love it, but it's not helping the global population of animals out there that need us, that need help from us. So it will be live online, not live, sorry. It will be recorded online. So cats and dogs, well, dogs particularly. I've got a bit of a plethora of dogs going on. So if you have horses, guinea pigs, rabbits, snakes, cats, other animals than dogs at the moment, please jump on the animalstelevisionshow.com website and fill out the registration form. I will drop that in the link on here as well, and just send over so we can start organising a time to do a reading. This is no cost to you, other than this is going to be online and it's going to be viewable forever. So you need to be comfortable with yourself being online and answering questions if we need to, if you need to. That's about all, I think. So I think that's all from me. 30 minutes of jibber jabber. That's probably about as much as anyone wants to hear from me as well. So wherever you are and whenever you are listening to this, I hope it all makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, please just ask. Have a great day, everyone, wherever you are. And I will come back again next week or sometime, and we will do it all again. We'll talk about some other interesting things. Thanks, everyone. Catch you a bit later on.